are back on the Morning Brew with Bert Tremblay here, and you are putting on the Duke City Marathon this Sunday, right?
That's right, 32nd annual.
Has it been going on that long?
It has. 1984 we started in downtown Albuquerque.
Wow.
And been running it ever since, and it just gets better and better every year.
That's very cool. How did you get involved?
Well, I actually started, I joined the board of directors about 12, 13 years ago, and just kind of increased, my role with it. We have a board of directors of about 15 people, volunteers.
All runners or not all runners?
No, not all runners, not necessarily. Just people that love Albuquerque, love putting on the race, and love putting on New Mexico's premier fitness event.
So it's 26 miles.
It is.
And so how do you plan that out? How do you find that route? Do you do you have to walk it and figure it out?
We ride ride our bikes. We actually have to get it certified every few years.
How do you do that?
Well, we actually have to bring somebody in to come and certify the course. We're a Boston Marathon qualifier.
Okay.
Which is a big deal. So people can run our race, qualify for the Boston Marathon, which you can't just sign up for. You have to get a certain time, qualify for the race, and then run it down the road.
Okay.
So a lot of people come to Albuquerque and use the Duke City Marathon to qualify for Boston. That's
very cool. What is the qualifying time? How fast do you have to run a
depends on
marathon?
the age.
Okay.
They have different age groups, and it's all broken down. It's very scientific, and it comes from Boston Marathon. They give us the guidelines, and then we send them our list every year of who qualified.
That's very cool. So where does the race go? I mean, because I know Albuquerque, you go uphill, you can go downhill, you can go into the river. Where do you send these people?
That's right. Well, we start and end in Civic Plaza, right around Civic Plaza. So downtown is just packed with runners and volunteers and
just
family
like that.
members. Yeah, that's
Look
right.
at that.
It's thousands of runners. We have 7 different races. So all told, there's about 5,000 runners and walkers. We actually have 2 walks. They run through the streets of downtown and hit the Bosque, and then run along, the Bosque Path, which is the river, and all the way up to Tramway, and all the different races have a turnaround point.
All the way up to Tramway?
Yeah, to Paseo and then close to Tramway, I should say.
Wow, that is a hike on foot. That's amazing.
That's right.
I don't even want to drive that far.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing is, people finish that in what, 4 hours, 3 hours?
Yep, our the course record is around 224, 222 in that range.
That's shocking on foot,
So
15 miles an hour on foot.
Those are the really competitive runners that come in to win.
But most people finish it in what, 6 or 7?
Yeah, the course is open for 7 hours, and some people finish a little bit after that too. But really, when it comes to running, finishing is the #1 goal. It's not winning the race. It's not even winning your age division. When it comes to a marathon, #1 goal is to finish.
Well, my hard part with all of this is I've never been able to find somebody who would chase me for 26 miles.
Well, whatever your motivation is, whatever works for you. But like I said, we have the 7 different races, so really any kind of fitness level.
Full marathon, half marathon, what, 5K or 10K?
Yeah, that's right, a 5K run, a 5K walk, a 10K run, a 10K walk, and actually a marathon relay.
Oh.
So, 5 people get together and
so I could run a couple of blocks, hand off the baton, and say good?
That's right. They have to run a certain, there's transition points where they have to hand off the baton and that kind of thing.
I couldn't get 26 buddies and each of us run a mile?
No, that's not how the relay works, but a lot of people, it's one of our most popular races because people just love training together and then running it together the day of the race.
And to get a good time, I'm sure.
Oh, that's right.
That's
they're
cool.
A lot of those runners are very competitive because it's not such a long distance.
Right. Well, Albuquerque is one of the interesting places, too, because we're an altitude race, right? We're more than a mile high here. Does that bring in a different kind of competitor?
It really does. A lot of people, they have what they call the 50 States Club. So these are runners all over the country that their goal is to run a marathon in every state.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and a lot of people use Duke City Marathon as their New Mexico race. So every year we have hundreds and hundreds of people coming in from every state across the United States and even around the world. We have people coming in from England and New Zealand and Mexico and Canada. We usually have Germany is signed up this year too.
That's very cool. So how do you guys recruit people from all these other countries? Do you market outside of the U.S. or do they just find out about the Duke City Marathon and show up?
A little bit of both. There's a lot of running calendars that people pay attention to around the world, so they'll jump on early. They'll say, okay, if I want to go to New Mexico, what should I do? And they'll look up and find Duke City Marathon on the running calendar. And they usually plan those trips, especially the marathoners, will plan those trips pretty far out.
That's very cool. So I've known a lot of people who've run marathons before, and regardless if I think they're crazy or not, that's a different thing. But I know they train so hard. How long do people usually train for this thing?
It really depends on the person and their training schedule. It can take a year. It can take longer. It can take, I would say the shortest time to actually, depending on what you start with in terms of your fitness, is going to take a couple months.
Minimum.
You don't just wake up one day and decide to run a marathon, and a week later you're running the full marathon.
Right.
Usually they'll start with a 5K run, then a 10K run, half marathon, and then the full.
Full marathon, wow. And then from here, how many people actually go to Boston? How many people actually qualify here and get to go to the big race like that?
We usually have about up to 100 people that qualify every year. And the real cool thing that we started last year is we actually have a Boston Marathon promotion to where if you win your age division at Duke City Marathon and you qualify for the Boston Marathon, we will pay your entry fee.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah,
Well,
it is.
Well, how big is the entry fee? Is it like $5 or is it like a couple $100?
For Boston, it's $175 domestically and $225 for international runners right now. And
So that's a
last year-
huge prize if you can qualify here.
It is. It's a
big
pretty
deal.
much
Not
a
only
cash
do you,
prize.
not only do you get in, but you get
Yep.
your entry fee
We
paid.
sent over 20 people last year.
That's
we paid
huge.
for their entry fee for the Boston Marathon.
That's very cool. So how did you get involved, like on your own life? Were you a runner? Were you a fitness guy? Did you have somebody in your family who was a runner that you got involved?
No, I knew a couple board members. I do small short distance running. I'm not a marathoner, but
Ever want to do one?
that one day,
Yeah.
absolutely will
Yeah.
one day. I think what a lot of our runners tell us, it's addictive. They start.
I've
And
heard that.
they build their way up, and they can't let go. They run and run, and it's fantastic. It's fantastic for their own lives and fitness.
What is it about running that is that way for a lot of people? Is it just that adrenaline rush, or that where you just completely get it out of your system? What is it about that?
Well, I just think it's such a great sense of accomplishment. When you see these runners cross the finish line in their face, and when they can finally say, "I did it," you can tell what it means to them.
That's very cool. We can find out more about the Duke City Marathon. It was dukecitymarathon.com.
That's right.
And then you got a Facebook page, and of course you're on Twitter and everything. You can find the photos there. Sounds like a plan. We'll see you Sunday then.
I'll see you Sunday.
Hopefully the weather is good. We're back in a couple of seconds on the Morning Brew with friends. We're going to talk about a new film coming up.
Okay.
She bruises calls, she splutters pistol shots, hold her down when song it goes.